welcome to another week of Sambo iRacing. It's week 12, season 3, 2024, so it is the final week of the season, and it's ending at a track that, whilst not very technical, is fantastic for racing. So, qualifying's not as important this week as it was last week at Lebanon, but one thing to be very clear of, you do not want to be stuck behind the pack going into the chicane because there will be crashes and you don't want to try and get involved in them. Anyway, if you're new to my channel, hi, welcome, have a seat. What we do is we do one hot lap and then we do a breakdown lap, then we go to chase cam, and then after that we go back in the driver's seat for a rundown with the driving line back on. Anyway, enough of that, let's start the lap. Okay, as always, started from the V schedule, so these should be the track conditions that we are dealing with this week. So relatively hot, 39 degrees Celsius on here. There's only one braking zone. Let's talk you through it quickly. So over on the left-hand side, in top gear, looking for that one. We just lift, we're just feeling, keeping a tiny bit of maintenance throttle on, trying to get a nice cut of the corner there. Back over to the right-hand side. Again, this is just a lift. We're trying to get back on the gas as early as possible, cutting the corner on the left-hand side. Again, using the camber here on the right as we go through turn 4. Up to 4th gear here at the little elbow, and then we're looking for this tree on the left-hand side. And we're wanting to brake and get back on the gas nice and early. Try and not clip this. I actually did clip it a little bit, but this was my fastest lap that I did, so it didn't really slow me down. Now we're changing up to 4th gear just before this turn, just clipping the paint. You're not actually wanting to hit the curb there, and we don't need to enter this too wide because the V doesn't go fast enough to push us all the way out. And as I say, it's all going to happen on this straight this week. Qualifying's not going to be as important, but if you're at the start and at the front of the grid, you're going to have less problems in that first chicane. Alright, let's do the breakdown lap. It's not going to take an awful lot of time. Okay, let's start the lap. Over on the left-hand side, we're looking for the 1 marker. So it's just before the 1 marker, and what we're going to do is we're going to slowly come off the gas. And the reason why we're going to do that in a slow bit is if we come off all in one go, all the weight's going to go to the front of the car, and then as we start the turn in, we're just going to lose the rear straight away. So just before we get to the 1 marker, we're going to do a big lift down from 100%, down to almost nothing, just maintenance throttle. Just the weight of my big toe on the throttle is just keeping the rears engaged, just making sure there's still some drive going to the rear wheels. We're leaving it in 4th gear here, and what we're looking to do is we're aiming to get as close to this first curbing as possible. You can clip it, but I choose not to, although I may do in a race. So we're leaving it in 4th, just keeping this maintenance throttle on, just trying to feel for the grip. We're going to apex first time here, and then just as we get to the apex, and just as my speed now drops down below 125 kilometers an hour, you'll hear it in the revs. I'm going to drop it down to 3rd gear. I give it a little blip of throttle as I drop it to 3rd gear, just to make sure that it's not locking up my rears, because sometimes if you change down whilst you're going too fast, what actually happens is it's like pulling a handbrake in the car. That's the reason why you spin if you downshift too early. And then I come back off the gas once I need that little bit more rotation, and as soon as my car starts to point inside the curb, I get fully back on the gas really early. If you look on the map there, I'm exactly halfway through Big Bend, which is turns 1 and 2. I'm looking to clip the inside here. I actually go up over the curb, and I do that so that I can exit wide but without going onto the grass. I then get back over to the right hand side, start aiming towards that big tree ahead of you there. And once you're sort of halfway across or across the track, I'm going to do a lift down to about 20%. And again, what I'm looking to do is just set up entry and to really get a nice cut on turn 3. I want to be going over to the left-hand side as much as possible. So I'm just feeling for the grip. And again, once I get my car rotated enough so that it starts turning inside, if you look at my steering wheel compared to the way that I'm actually pointing, I'm wanting to point inside of this apex here so that when I get back on the gas, the understeer is going to take me and I'm going to absolutely nail the apex on the rumble strip without going on the grass. Get over to the left-hand side, use the natural camber round 4 to go through it. You don't actually need to clip the curbing here, just getting those right-hand tyres on the white line. Up to 4th gear at 133 kilometers an hour, about 86 miles per hour. Now we're looking for the tree on the left-hand side, for the tricky part of the track. So just as we get to the shadow of the tree, what we're going to do is we're going to jump on the brakes up to, what, about 82%. Again, I'm using normal standard brake bias here because we've not got any massive braking zones. And wanting to trail that off all the way down so that once you're in this position, you can drop it down to third gear. Massive blip on the throttle as I do that, and now I'm fully back on 100% throttle ahead of the chicane. So we're now going to try and thread this chicane on 100% throttle, and we're back on. We don't come off the gas now until the start-finish line. So what you're wanting to do is not hit these red things, so do that one fairly well. I do actually clip this one on the left-hand side, but it's just a glancing blow, and it didn't actually slow me down too much. But if you hit that too hard, you are going to have a nasty spin. And then, again, I nailed this one perfectly again. So 2 out of 3 isn't so bad, and it didn't hurt my time when I did clip that second one. So fully on the throttle now, looking to get to the entrance of 8, nice and wide. I'm going to be changing up right at this point here, 133 kilometers an hour. Try and not clip this inside curve because it will slow you down. If you are trying to overtake people around here in a race and people are on your inside and they go up this, they are going to slide down and take you out. It's happened to me a million times. And I see other guys suggesting a really wide entry, but that's just making the track longer for yourself. The V isn't fast enough to actually need the fully wide entry that you would in an F3 or an F4 or even the Formula Ford. I'm wanting to get nice and close on the apex without actually hitting that curbing. Exit wide. And over and across the line in a 1 minute, 3 seconds, 5.93. So, yeah, it's not bad. That's going to be competitive. If you're in the lower splits, that's going to be amazing. And the main thing about this track is going to be racecraft. Right, now chase cam. Okay, the whole point of chase cam is just to let you guys see exactly where my wheels are from a better angle. So always making full use of the track. To be fast in the V, you do have to encourage the slide. It's not nearly as worrisome as it was last week at Lebanon. Yeah, I already clipped this one, but... absolutely nothing to this. It's going to be 12-13 laps of great fun this week. I say that. Probably going to get wrecked by someone with 1600 IR quite often around this spot. Right, and what is it now? Cockpit with the driving line on. Final run through for those of you that are still here. As always, thanks for watching, you guys. 3,000 subs, I can't believe it. What a year it's been. Hope you're enjoying my content. Let me know if you want anything different, and I'll see what I can do. Have a good one. I'll see you guys in the week.